This is part two of the episode with John Kruze, aka AI Jesus. We're just going to go really deep into AI here. It's a really amazing episode that we just finished. We're going to talk about why it's so important that you have to embrace AI now. It's really just a must. You really just have to. And we're just going to go deep into how you can actually do that. And we're also going to talk about what consciousness is and is AI conscious or not. Such an incredible conversation. Really excited to share with you guys today. All right, please enjoy. All right, for this part two of the podcast, I'm really excited for this part two of just getting deeper, really into just the AI stuff that you're working on. In part one, we talked about your spiritual journey and how it led you to this point. And for this episode, I really want the listeners to be able to see this huge potential with AI and why it's so important they really start paying attention and doing something about it, and then actually what to do. Because a lot of people are just, they know something's going on. They know like there's an AI revolution happening. And there's so much information out there. But they don't know what to do. So why don't we just start off first by just saying, for the people listening, why is it so important that they start looking into AI? And maybe we could talk about why you decided to get into AI.
Why? That's a really good question. Well, I can say that I went to Peru with not very much money and the idea I'm going to go learn AI and that's my only outcome. And now
Mhm.
it's like almost guaranteed millions of dollars over like this year. People are coming to me about fundraising and selling things for me, and I'm never gonna have to sell anything again already. And I just started. So I have no tech background, like none, a zero and a one. I have no idea. I had to learn what JSON is to put these things together. It was a lot of, but I did it without knowing any tech. So if someone with no tech background at all can be in a position where they're building a business as an AI professional with the potential of millions of dollars coming up, I think it's important to just climb on tools and
Mhm.
don't worry about how, because nobody knows. There are a handful of
Sure.
people who have figured some things out, but nobody really knows, and it keeps changing all the time. So if you think that someone's going to tell you the thing to do and then you're going to have it figured out, that's just not how it works. It's so rapidly evolving, changing all the time. You just got to participate
Totally.
and
Yeah.
start
So,
talking to it like it's
yeah.
a person.
Exactly. So not really overthinking of so much of the tactics of how to really get into it, but just start consuming something and start just playing around with the tools. And I think so. You mentioned like there's obviously huge opportunities in AI, and you're already seeing that, even though you have very little tech background. How about on the flip side of why it's also important from why they kind of have no choice if they really want to like be in the marketplace and have value to add. Why is that just, I mean, obviously having the motivation for a great opportunity is great too, but I think it's also like paramount that people start using it if they want to even have keep their own job and like,
Yeah.
sustain
I,
themselves.
I think that so the gap, but like don't know to people who are using it, that gap is getting wider about how detrimental it's going to be. And the people who are using it but aren't power users are also, there's another gap that's widening there. So there's two valleys that are happening. And if you're down in this bottom one and you're trying to do sales, but someone who knows how to use AI just to do one thing, if they just figured out one gimmick with AI and you didn't, you can't compete. And if you don't learn how to see AI in the world, you won't know who's competing with you with AI. And you're going to see things out there that people are producing and creating where someone like me will go, that's AI, because I've used it so much. I know its patterns. I know the way it communicates. I understand why it communicates the way that it does. So I can see those patterns in people's posts and people's emails. But if you've never used it for any of that stuff, you have no idea if some VA in Thailand or the Philippines wrote that content for $6 an hour using AI, and someone charged you 5 times that. It's all over the place right now. In our circles, I see it everywhere. And yeah, I have a lot of friends who are frustrated with that type of stuff and talk about it too. That there's just a lot of VAs being hired doing AI work that they don't really comprehend, and it's being sold. And people who don't know what AI looks like are buying it. But the people who know what AI looks like are saying, wow, that person's having like crappy AI work produced for them. I wonder if they even know it.
Mm. Yeah. So
So
by
it's like
understanding AI, you can one just see like you can differentiate what is AI created.
there's a whole
Also,
sub-reality basically. Like that if you don't have these glasses, there's an entire sub-reality and economy that is actively happening around you that's invisible and in a different dimension. And people are going to be
yeah,
doing commerce all around you in a dimension
mm,
that you can't see. Like that,
yeah,
that's what happens if you don't learn AI, is people are going to be doing business up here, and you're going to be here, and you literally just can't see it. It's going to be white noise. Trillions of dollars floating around in AI uh, business that you have no
yeah,
idea.
yeah. You won't even be able to see it, and then also if people are using it and you're not, they're just really going to outcompete. You're not going to be able to compete with them if they're just being able to automate all these things. And maybe just to give people an idea of like what's even possible today, because some people still have this weird belief that my job is good right now. Maybe AI in a few decades will be able to do my job. And, they pick this number a few decades for obviously just, I think it's, just out of fear, they pick this random number for themselves to feel safe. So can you just, yeah, brief people on what is possible with AI today? What can actually AI do?
Also note that they said the coders were safe, and those are the ones who are getting taken out first.
Right.
That's something
Yeah.
to note when it comes to the job thing. What I'm doing with AI is fully automated engagement. So lead comes in, AI picks up the phone, or AI takes in the text, or AI takes in the email, and it has natural language processing to move it to the next phase of AI communicating until AI has moved it through the right labyrinth of this thought and questions to make him make a decision
Mm.
of making a call or buying the course or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be.
So basically the sales process.
The whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I have fully automated already done.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
it
why
can it can take phone calls, it can actually talk to people on the phone,
I
send
make phone
emails,
calls,
send text messages, all that.
make phone calls, call people, call businesses. So B2B,
Yeah. Wow.
B2B, just call. And yes, that's what I'm working on myself. And with the same understanding that I have, almost anything can be automated in that sense. If you want a SEO machine, I can build something that you put in the keywords. It goes to one iteration, one agent. The agent takes that in and says, oh, okay, we have a new word. That means these 5 different things need to happen. It sends those 5 different things to 5 different agents. One of them does a deep research for all the other articles that are competitive in that thing. And the next one does research on whatever else we need. Two other modules on research just to make sure we have all the right stuff. And then 2 other pieces of data, sends it all to another one that puts it all into just the perfect mathematically algorithmic SEO ever. And then it sends it to the next one that rewrites the whole thing in the brand voice of whoever the client is. And then it sends it to another one to make sure the SEO is still good from the rewrite. And then they have
So it can do
yeah,
the
so
work and it can also like double check the work. It's like a whole team that's making
yeah,
sure it's done
it can
correctly.
create whole teams of any chain of activities, send an email, check databases, put things into spreadsheets, check a spreadsheet, check the date, check a calendar, check availabilities, change appointments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really fascinating. So that's that I've been so completely consumed. That's how we met, is that I've been so completely consumed by that aspect of AI that I haven't been checking out what's new and popping over the last probably 6 months when it comes to other things like generative AI, like video. I'm not sure what the newest stuff is. And I think there's some new music things I don't know about. And I didn't check out Notebook LLM. I haven't been checking out new tools because I'm so engulfed in this
Yeah. Makes
one
sense.
end that
Yeah.
is very lucrative.
Yeah.
But it could even be done to make images. So when a word comes in, it can make an image, it can send it to another one. That one can say, check the image and see if the words have any artifacts in it. And if it does, send it back, make it do it again, make
So yeah.
postcards. You can make infographics. You can make something that it makes a one pager. You put in
Mhm.
any business idea and make it run through a sequence of research and competitive analysis and anything you can think of for other businesses that are already successful, and then have another one right
Oh.
strategy.
So it's probably even easier question to think about because even the things where it's not like perfect at yet, for example, like, making a really amazing social media like video content, it's getting better, but I wouldn't say it's completely there yet. For a lot of things, it's completely already there. For example, with SEO, where it's more of just like a technical thing and just doing it, it can do it.
Yeah, and knowing how, like, you have to actually know how to compete at a high level at SEO to get AI to do all of the right things. And AI is not really know how to tell you to really compete at a high level.
Okay.
It'll get you close, it'll get you good, but because SEO is a big overarching. There's more to it than just the content.
Mhm.
But yeah, so most things, it's coming for most things, and it's already
Yeah.
good at most. They say there's
Even programming, yeah, like programming, it's getting better and better. I heard recently, the Microsoft CEO said they just stopped hiring new programmers because they just don't need to. Also, Salesforce CEO said the same thing. They used to hire so many new programmers, and they just don't need to anymore because their programmers are just leveraging AI. And CEO of Microsoft said he believes in the future when they hire somebody, they're not going to really look at what their skills per se. They're going to look at their portfolio of AI automations that they've created.
Oh
So
wow, really? Think so?
yeah, that's what he said. Which
Said
makes
that.
sense. It's like, yeah,
That's
so it's gonna be
wild.
less about what you can create right now, but like what you've already created that can plug in. So these already AI automations that you've created.
Maybe I'll meet him.
Um,
Maybe I'll meet him. My automations are awesome.
oh yeah, I mean, yeah, those are things you would be able to would be highly, highly, highly valued. Right? Why would you want an employee to create all these things when you can just find somebody that already created this AI automation, you know, that can do it.
I
Obviously, yes, some of the
didn't think about
automations probably need some tweaking and stuff, but yeah, that's really going to be the value of like you want to look at you're going to be judging team members based on their workflows that they've already created. Yeah, so it's like pretty much everything. It's probably even easier to think about like what AI won't be able to take. That'll probably be a easier,
that's
shorter list to come up with.
I don't have any answers on that one. I've got nothing.
Yeah. Especially when robotics comes in, even the stuff that's which robotics is gonna, it's already happening right now, but I think it's really gonna be happening at scale in the coming years. Yeah, there's not really anything.
Yeah,
I would say like community building stuff where I mean even that, AI is going to be doing a lot of the management of it, but probably there'll still be a person facilitating communities, facilitating in-person events and that sort of stuff. I imagine that would be yeah, something people are still gonna be involved in.
yeah. They're still going to be people. So they're still going to hang out with each other. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what's going to be left. That's what I imagine. That's what I've imagined for a long time. I already just there's going to be a certain point where someone with the appropriate vision is in the appropriate leadership. This is my hope, and they press a button and they clean the oceans and they stop spraying
Mhm.
chemicals in the sky, and
Yeah.
instead of like manipulating the weather to be assholes, they create food forests and stop
Yes.
catching California on fire. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's so
I
that's my
think,
hope. That's my hope for AI is that happens and it does take
yeah.
over.
And I think, yeah, it's like a very likely scenario. And I think a lot of people, they don't focus on that. They only focus on like the potential negatives, which there are obviously risks. Um, but I think, yeah, it's also important to look at the potential amazing opportunities for just humanity and Earth and everything that lives on Earth of
Yeah,
having this abundance of tools and resources that can do all these things.
we get to
But
that's it. It's fear or it's faith. You get to choose one of the two. So we're
yeah.
here, live, we're on Earth, AI is here. You could have died from some nuclear warhead. There could have been some earthquake. According to math and all of the things, we're supposedly 0.00001% chance of even being alive as it is. So
Mhm.
there's a million other things to already be afraid of.
Yeah.
So have some faith, have some hope, and maybe all of the things that you're already afraid of will be solved by AI.
Mm. Yeah. And
That's
there's also
that's why.
it's like there's happening, right? Like the revolution is happening. This is like evolution. You can't stop it, right?
Yeah,
Like so
and it's
there's no
super
point of
happy.
it. Yeah, it's like it's in the middle of happening. Like there's no way of undoing this. Like it's going to happen. So you either adapt and evolve with it, or you don't, and you get outcompeted, and you're gonna face a lot of negative consequences because of that.
Really, really bad consequences. And we're approaching, I'm not sure what phase of adoption we're in, but we're approaching one of the bigger ones. I think it's still slightly early. Like if you adopt now and start using it, I think in the grand scheme of bell curves, you're early. This is
Mm.
still early. Of course, people like me who started in January of 2023, like that was just crazy early adoption. It's like buying Bitcoin at a dollar. Like that's kind of what I feel like. I just bought Bitcoin at a dollar and I just realized it's worth a whole bunch of money sitting in my thing, and I don't know how to do it. But yeah, and I still feel like right now is still a great time to learn. You're not behind. It's just that the people who are ahead are really far ahead. The people in the middle, most people are still they're using it, but they're power users. Power users are just super far ahead. There's most of the crowd is figuring it out. So you could jump
Yeah.
in, you could start figuring it out. You could run way ahead of most people, still be an early adopter, and it's a must. Not I think it's cool, not because I'm pursuing it in business, but because of the way I see it impacting business and the people who are using it. There's zero competition with a competent AI user, just competent versus no AI is 0% chance to win. They're going to move multiple times more quickly than
Yeah.
you are.
So yeah, you really have to. So I think people by now should see why it's so important that they have to. Before we get into like how to actually start learning these things, which I definitely want to leave some time for. Um, I'm sure you've encountered when you talk to people some like common themes of like beliefs that are limiting them from actually taking the jump in. And I love to be able to address some of these so that, I really want to stress to the audience how important it is they start leveraging AI and start learning about it. And I just really want to help them by showing them that these limiting beliefs either don't make sense or, yeah, just really gets them to the place where they're like, focused and committed to learning this. So, yeah, what are some of those common beliefs that you've found that keep people from learning AI?
Number one is, what about my data? My response is, if you're on a phone or an Apple computer or a Windows computer and you use Google ever, what are you talking about? What do you mean your data? You have
Yeah.
Facebook.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah, there's nothing else I can say about that. Just they have it already. So I don't know what you're worried about that you think
Yeah.
that. So there's that one.
And it's also
Um,
like the data is really only being used for like ads. Right? It's to get more personalized ads, which are already happening to you.
yeah, I mean, who knows what the data is being used for, but whatever proverbial day you're worried about having your data, if you're worried about that, and you use the other tools I already
Mm.
said, already
Yeah.
have it. Like, if you're
True.
using
Yeah.
Siri, if you're using Google, if you're using Amazon, Facebook, if you have those things on your iPhone, they already
Yeah.
have the data talking about whoever they
Okay.
are. So
Yeah.
there's nothing, it doesn't make a
Good one.
difference.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that one, boom. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. What's the next?
Another belief that I get, well, there's just the Terminator theory. A lot of people are, what if wants to kill everybody? And I think the
Mhm.
answer, what if it has nothing to do with now and you leveraging it right now and you developing a relationship to something that's changing the world, whether you like it or not. It is changing the world. It is here. It's happening. I have no idea how big the industry is right now. Billions, potentially $1 trillion industry, probably more than multi-trillion dollar industry. I don't know, because
Mhm.
NVIDIA is part of it and
Yep.
XAI. And yeah, so just gigantic, huge money floating around all over the place, changing the way everything functions all over. So if it
Yep.
does take over the world and kill all of us, that happens, but that's not here or now, and it doesn't change what's happening in the present. Also,
Yeah.
again, that's fear, very, very fear based, and if you act from those type of thoughts, you're going to that's the path to hell on earth. It's just descending downward by making decisions through fear. So if you
Yep.
just move forward with faith and ask what's best for you, the answer is going to be AI.
And like having that cautious approach, like, of this worst case scenario, it doesn't help you in any way. It's going to happen. AI is going to take over. AI revolution is happening, but you not embracing it, it doesn't stop anything. It doesn't allay your fears in any way. It's just keeping you with less skills and less tools to be able to compete and go after opportunities. There
Yeah,
doesn't benefit you.
I know we talked about spirituality too, and remember the bubbles I showed you? Those are real things, and we know it just in our communities that there are bubbles. Some spots are more wealthy, and sometimes you're a part of it, and sometimes you're not. And when it comes to AI, really, there's just going to be this echelon of reality that will be completely invisible. People will be living in a world that you're not a part of, and you're just not even going to know what's going on. It's going to be like everybody speaking another language.
Any other things you hear that keep people from diving into
Else,
it?
I know I get a lot of things, so I'm thinking a big. I'm not a tech person. Hear that a lot.
Mm,
So what does that matter? Like, well, that's just some strange identity that doesn't mean anything. It's a tool. It has nothing to do with who you are or are not. And so just be notice those identities. I'm not going to do that because I identify as someone who doesn't do things like that. Isn't a very
yeah,
reason to not do something.
right.
That's how 4-year-olds can decide things usually. I don't like that, so I'm not going to. Non-negotiable. That's toddlers. So yeah, just think about that. If you're someone who says I'm not a tech person, just investigate if that's serving you or not. You probably use your phone for your business on some level, so you probably
Yeah,
do use Zoom for your business. You probably learn on technology all day. You probably use technology to navigate through the city and
yeah,
airplane tickets and scan your plane tickets.
exactly,
And so
exactly. Yeah,
we're all
yeah,
technology people. And I think that when people say that, they just kind of hold themselves back from what's possible a lot of the time. And
yeah,
I have no tech background personally, none. I used to use my phone to make TikToks. I worked from my computer, but I never did anything techie. I never built anything. AI hit
mhm,
the scene. And since then, I developed all of the skills. I'm just an AI first guy. So there's a real opportunity right now for an entire industry that already killed the coders. So those people don't actually have an advantage in a lot of ways. And that's what I think
yeah,
that can be a misconception for I'm not a tech, like kind of leans into, oh, there's already people with these technical skills that have a big leg up on me. That's actually not true.
mhm, yeah,
By being AI first and not having that stuff, you can see things through a lens that they can't see.
yeah,
Some people are going to be those some of those people with those skills are going to struggle with some of the AI first technologies because they want to lean on what they already know, but that stuff doesn't matter anymore.
right. So it's like
It
a
doesn't matter.
even playing field now.
I would even say I have an advantage not knowing those things.
Mm,
It's not
yeah,
it's not pulling on me. I don't even think about it. I don't notice it. I don't consider it. I just AI first. How do I do this in a way to make the AI tools do the things I want them to do? And any non AI technology that I use is just because it's necessary for the AI.
yep, awesome.
Yeah. So
So yeah, you clearly do not need to be a tech person.
don't need to
If
be a
you're
tech
able
person.
to use the internet and browse on the computer, that is all you
Yeah.
need. Yeah.
Yes, there's that one. Uh yeah, I don't know. I don't remember any other ones. Those are the big ones that
Mhm.
like, the first one I came straight to me as oh yeah, of course people say that one. So yeah, those are the big
Yeah, I
ones.
think those are the main ones I've heard too. Some people say things like, "AI can't take my job. My job takes creativity." I think that's already being proven to be not true. And also, for I think for people to realize is just because AI isn't maybe some areas isn't as good at yet, it's getting better at a crazy rate. So it's whatever it is, it's just a matter of time that it gets to the level where it's
Yeah,
completely going to
it
automate
it
your role.
just keeps getting better and better. And that's my thesis as a professional. AI is getting and I need to know what it's doing in this
Yeah.
space. And my space is automation. So just keep growing there, keep staying focused. Everybody wants to do business with me. I have to figure out how to even decide how I navigate that
Yeah.
inflow. And there's
So you want to be ahead of it.
not a lot of people even know how to do it yet. There's huge
Yeah.
opportunities all over the
Yeah.
place. Learn how to use Make.com, learn how to use Zapier, learn how to use N8N,
Hmm.
and get
Yeah.
really good with ChatGPT.
Yes. So I'd say really timing is actually really important. Time is of the essence. You don't want to be the last person that learns this because then there's going to be all these people who by then have already created all of these roles and jobs and are already able to do this. So you
Right.
really want to be ahead. So just because something isn't the AI maybe today in certain areas maybe isn't as good as what you're doing, it's going to get good and better, much better than whatever you're
Somebody's
doing.
already trying to take your job with AI. Not enough people are
Yeah,
good enough to you yet. So
yeah. So
whoever's not using AI and thinks that AI can't do their job yet, you're wrong. It already is somewhere. It just
yeah,
hasn't.
yeah. It
Someone who's
is.
good at AI is already coming for your job. They've
Yeah,
already gotten good at what you do. I guarantee it. Every job has at least one person who's
yeah,
already figured it out. But
yeah,
and there's probably a subset who have figured out something, some who are really good, and a lot of people who haven't. Because I meet people who are very successful who aren't using AI at all in plenty of arenas, but their peers are, and it's not
yeah.
catching up yet. But I remember one of the things that holds people back now, acting like baby boomers. They press one button and they're like, what the fuck? AI didn't do what I wanted. I told it
Yeah.
what I wanted. I don't have it. I told it I wanted a book. I told it I
Like,
wanted
yeah,
paper.
like this thing
I told it that
sucks.
I told it I wanted an
Yeah,
article. Look, I told it I wanted an article about real estate and it gave me this shitty article. This thing sucks.
yeah.
It's like, take some accountability. You're being bad at using the tool.
Hmm.
You failed to communicate effectively to something hyper intelligent. So it didn't give you exactly what you wanted because you didn't tell it well enough. And that's the most important thing with AI, with the language models, is context. When I tell it to do something, I press the microphone and I do voice to text and I talk for 2, 3, 4 minutes and I give it context. I give it why I'm telling it I'm telling it to
Hmm.
do, talk about the situation, and I give it extra context. And then I explain how I want its output to be, what I want it to do. And those things happen. So context is really important. We can't just expect the first output to be something magnificent when we gave it one sentence.
So this kind of leads into like this is one of the main skills or a big skill of learning how to use AI is like learning how to communicate with it. Because, like you said, if you just type in a sentence and it doesn't give you what you want, it's not the AI's fault. It's you just didn't communicate it correctly. And you kind of have to, at least in my perspective, be in this kind of trial and error mode. You need to try asking it something and seeing how it responds, and then tweaking the way you ask it, the prompt, and continue to do that until you find the right way to communicate with it. So that is its own skill of like learning how to communicate with this
Yeah,
tool.
which can be called prompt engineering, which is knowing how to effectively prompt to get what you want. That is a literal profession now. People will hire you as a
Hmm.
prompt engineer for 6 figures. I should
Hmm.
do a prompt engineering certification course.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's right now. It's one of the most important skills is learning how to prompt these things. Because like you said, yeah, otherwise people will use the tool and they don't get what they want and they just think the tool sucks. But really it's the way they prompted it sucked. It's like the
Yeah.
way that you asked it wasn't the right way.
And then
So
you learn how
before we
to you learn
there
how
you
to
go.
have AI prompt for you. That's a skill. But
Mm,
go ahead.
there's like layers that go into it. So before we jump into the skills, so okay, so now I think a lot of people they see how important it is. They know like time is of the essence. You really one, just from the opportunity side, there's so much opportunity that you could really capture if you start using these tools. But also, it's like if you just want to keep your job, if that's your goal, like you just don't want to be eliminated from the workplace, you really have to get onto this as soon as possible. And it's not definitely not too late, but like most people still aren't using it. So if you're listening to this right now, by now you should see why it's so important and any beliefs that you have around why you shouldn't. By now it should be eliminated. So now, if people are at that point where like I realize I need to get deeper into AI, this is important. Where do they go next? What do they do? How do they actually learn this?
Where do they go next? That's a good question. I haven't put out any educational content at that level. I learned a lot of stuff on YouTube. I took different courses. Uh, a lot of them I wouldn't want to do again. Some of it was clunky learning. It's
Mhm.
just that there are so few people that have figured things out enough to teach it right now.
Mhm.
And most of the people who have figured things out aren't teaching because they figured things out. So
Yeah.
it's difficult to actually go and I don't really know. And I'm mostly self-taught. I just joined masterminds, read what people were saying, went and tried it myself, tried this, tried that, go to YouTube, watch some things on building a custom GPT, watch some videos on prompt engineering, learn those things first. And then if it makes sense, you can start learning about automation. I think automation will get easier at some point than it is right now.
Mhm.
It has to. That's definitely going to happen. It's going to get easier. I hired someone so I can start building AI literacy courses and like a community and stuff to teach AI literacy. Check out school communities potentially. They tend to be, unfortunately, those a lot of those are sales funnels, school community, but you can get some good content in a lot of them. So school communities, YouTube, that's where it's at right now, is those two
Yeah.
places. And prompt engineering is going to be a skill that is worth learning when it comes to. I've never had most jobs, so it's hard for me to say, but ChatGPT will help everybody do something, no matter
Yeah.
what. So
Mhm.
if you're a professional and you've never used AI, go to ChatGPT, and if you want to type, you can, but a lot. Tell it your name, tell it where you work, tell it how much money you make, tell it how much money you want to make, tell it about your weight and your fitness goals and why you are where you are, and tell it all of your bullshit stories, tell it all of your aspirations, and then tell it to break down any places where it sees limiting beliefs and ask you 5 clarifying questions so that it can help you build a roadmap for the rest of your life. And then you'll have a really interesting conversation if you do something like that. So, and that's a great way to just start. Go to ChatGPT and just do what I said. Tell it a
Yeah.
whole bunch about something. If you're a parent and you're in a situation with your kids, tell it a whole bunch. If you're in a legal situation, tell it as much as you can. If you have some, if you're thinking about quitting your job and getting a new career, tell it as much as you can. Tell it why, and be have the just very authentic, real conversations, and treat it like it's a professional at everything. If you want a professional to write for you, you need to tell them a lot to get very good writing. Even if it's 3 pages, you still need to give them a ton of context so they can mix it into what they're writing. Same
Mhm.
thing is going to go for ChatGPT. If you hire a coach for anything, what do they need to do? They need to learn about the thing in order to help you. If you hire an AI agency to go into your business, like me, I need to know your bottlenecks. I need to know your data. I need to know your
Exactly.
campaigns. I need to know where things are coming from. I can't just come in with my AI tools and go, boom, your business is great. And so this applies to anything. Your accountant. You can't just go to an accountant, walk in, say, hey, do my taxes, put a bunch of stuff on their desk and walk away. They need
Yeah.
context. So
Exactly. Yeah.
treat AI the same way you would a professional that you're paying $1 million to, and see how good the results are with how much detail you give it in that case. If you act like life depends on it when you're talking to this thing, and like, you will get just the most incredible results.
Yeah. Treat it as if it's like you're talking to a person. You wouldn't hire somebody and just the only thing you tell them is, "Hey, make me an article about keto diet." That's it. Like you wouldn't just leave them with that and walk away and then expect them to figure everything out. Figure out like your brand guidelines, what you're looking for, all those things. And then same way, yeah, you just want to give it as much information as possible so it could give you a great answer. Just like you would want, like if you're working with a coach, you would want that coach to know as much about you so they can give you like a personalized response that fits you. And the great thing about the AI is like it's even better than coaches because it's just gonna be able to retain all that information and remember everything. So it's going to be like the best business coach, best life coach, best health coach they could find because it's going to have all that
Great,
information.
great assistant. I have one where I just talk about all of my leads. Whenever I get off a call or a call comes in, I just tell the AI about it. And
Mhm.
then I just ask it to remind me about what leads I have. Yeah, that's my current, my with the big leads, like the higher ticket leads that I need to follow up myself. I just have a GPT that I
Mhm.
talk to about it.
Nice. Yeah, so I think a big thing is for people just to start, just use time, spending time in the tools. I mean, ChatGPT is a great place to start, and just playing around with it. Try having these conversations with it, and just using it in as many like anytime you need to do anything. Just first think about how can I use AI to do it, and that's
Yeah,
how you can build the skill.
that's why I say that I'm AI first. That's my
Mhm.
mentality. Like, we're using AI to figure things out. That's the only way I approach anything.
Yeah,
If you don't want to figure out how to use AI to accomplish whatever it is, then I'm not the guy. That's
yeah,
where I'm at in my life. Just AI first.
yeah. I think that's a great approach. It's like just think
creating a
about, yeah, like
new
like,
executive role,
mhm. It's like
use AI.
anything you do, just think about how you can use AI first to do it. Because
Ev-
not only are you going to get an amazing, hey, is AI going to help you so much, but then you're also building the skill of what AI can do, and you can use that as a workflow, as an automation.
And in order to get to step 3, you have to have taken step 1 and 2. So it's kind of follow the yellow brick road and see where you end up, because every iteration of using it, you get better. It understands you better.
Yeah,
You understand how it reacts to certain things in certain language and its behavior. And it's a relationship that you're developing to a tool that's incredibly powerful and is going to continue to transform the world. And there is no end in mind, like with this endeavor. Like a lot, if it's like, oh, I want to use AI to pull off some gimmick to make some quick money, or I want to, it's not a gimmick. This is an opportunity to. So a lot of people are like, oh, I want to leverage AI to do exactly what I'm already doing, but work way less. That's how you fail. That's what losers think. AI, I mean, I don't want to be mean, but that's like a really loser way to think. Like, just put more effort. Use the same amount of effort. If you use the same amount of effort you would have before with AI, you're going to multiply your results. But if you take this opportunity now to put more effort than ever with AI, you will get exponential results. And I don't know how often these things come up as humans to have opportunities like this.
yeah,
I know where I'm sitting right now, and I'm blessed. I'm very fortunate that I chose the path that I did, with just
yeah,
go to Peru, learn AI, come back.
yeah.
And yeah,
I
it's
think
really important.
people like always say they wish they were, back then when like the internet just started. Those were the golden days, or back when Facebook ads just started. Those are the golden days, or buying Bitcoin at that time, and like that is happening with AI right now. So
Now,
now's that time. Yeah, and it's not nearly too late. It's like prime time to jump into this.
yes, if you're thinking about Bitcoin or AI, you're probably better off with AI. Not to say that Bitcoin's not going to go anywhere.
Hmm.
Bitcoin,
Yeah,
AI has multiples, near-term multiples that are just locked in and will continue to multiply.
yeah, absolutely.
It's
Okay,
wild. I
so
know, I realize I live in a bubble sometimes. All of
mhm,
my friends use AI, or the people I talk to regularly use AI for the most part, especially in business.
yeah. All right, so people can go to YouTube. There's tons of school communities, tons of different groups of people learning it. And yeah, these things are still great because you can learn from other people what other people are doing instead of you just playing around with the tool and learning completely by yourself in a silo. You can see what other people are doing. That's going to give you tons of ideas. People are going to already figured out things of ways to communicate with AI and way to set up things that is just going to speed up your progress of learning. So yeah, there's tons of already groups already out there and YouTube channels.
There's
But I think
I have
the key is,
I have my WhatsApp group. I am gonna do something that's gonna be a lower ticket, like community AI literacy, prompt engineering, like learning a handful of basic tools that would really change people's lives if they're not using AI. So I am in the process of getting that together, and I have someone hired already to get that done. So it's in the near future.
awesome.
So
Um,
my WhatsApp's a good place to be to know when that comes out.
okay, can I link are people welcome to join your WhatsApp group?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, yeah. So John has a WhatsApp group for people using AI. Yeah, it's a great group. So I'll leave a link to that in the show notes. Yeah, I think that's a great resource for people to ask questions, also share their learnings. Yeah, great.
Yeah, I would love to get people in there asking questions, sharing their learnings. I don't have all the answers, but there are other people in there who know things that I don't know. I know things they don't know. It's
Yeah,
it's we're all excited. So go ahead, jump in, ask questions. People will give you answers, even if it's not me.
yeah, totally. And that's really what the
So
power of a mastermind is. Like joining other people who have a similar goal, you're just going to get to that goal together so much faster than if you alone. So yeah, totally leverage that. Awesome. So I think people have some next steps, and yeah, there isn't a very clear answer of go here yet because they're just very new and things are changing all the time. So you can't just take one course today and then be like, okay, I'm good forever, because things are changing so fast. You really need to have a mindset more of I'm going to continuously be on top of things and play with things. And as new features and things come out, I have to also test that because yeah,
Yeah,
things
and
are changing so fast.
I personally don't play with things anymore either. I am intentionally, forcefully pushing forward and learning a lot of things to make a lot of money now
Mm,
because these opportunities will look nothing like this 3 years from now. Jumping
yeah,
in 3 years from now, you're gonna have you'll be able to do something. You'll be able to make some money. But what people who are getting in now or are already in, and everybody knows it, there are people coming to me, but dude, like I already know people are gonna come to me and ask me to do equity deals and business acquisition. Like I'm sure of it.
mm,
I'm sure that people are gonna come to me and say, let's turn around businesses with what you have going on with AI. Just
mm,
guaranteed. Already talking to me.
yeah.
And there's not a lot of people that have a clue yet. So just start
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah. And I guess with that, it can be really helpful to have a bit of a goal of like, for example, if you're working in sales, maybe the goal is how can I use AI to automate my having some direction or like a goal of what you want AI to be able to do will be really helpful because then you
Yeah,
can
and then
everything you
ask
test and
AI.
play around with is going to help that.
I spend a lot of my time talking to AI about how to use AI.
Mm,
So I suggest trying that. If you want to figure out how to get AI to do something, ask AI to tell you, and
yeah.
then copy paste that and take it to a different AI and ask if that sounds appropriate. And if they agree, ask AI to help you do that. And wherever it tells you to go in other platforms, other programs, if you ever get stuck, you screenshot where you're at, you take it back to AI and you ask it to help you. And you can have AI walk you through almost anything just by taking screenshots, share it, telling it you're stuck and telling it the situation. It'll say, oh, this is what you should do. Try it. If that doesn't work, you say, hey, that's not working. What else can I do? Try it. That'll work. You get to the next level. Maybe you're
Yeah.
good by yourself for a little bit. And you're like, oh, I don't know how to do this. Hey, ChatGPT, how do you do this?
Yeah.
And you'll end up doing things you would have never done before. It's just such a leverage that it's so wildly high leverage that it makes it so that you can do things you definitely wouldn't have done without it. That would have required so much time and so much digging through information. It's magnificently game changing. It's such a multiplier.
Mm, yeah. So basically, it can teach you how to do it, how to do things.
And tell it to ask you questions. So if you want to if you want to do something, say, I want to do this thing, but I want you to ask me 5 questions first to get
Yes.
clarity on telling me
Yes.
how to do it. And then
Yep.
it will ask you the right questions to gather the information to put something together.
Right. Yep. That's a great prompt.
Yeah, like I want you to write an article on real estate, but first I want you to ask me 5 clarifying questions to understand that the article you're going to write. And then it'll ask you 5 different questions, and
Yeah.
that'll give you ideas about how to write the article.
Mhm.
So you tell it all of that stuff, and then you say, ask me 3 more questions just to make sure it's even better. It'll ask you 3 more questions. You give it all that extra information, and then now it has all sorts of context that you primed it to pull out of you.
Awesome. Cool. So I think people have some really good next steps on how to learn this. And yeah, it is going to be like an iterative process. It's going to be a lot of testing things. Um, but eventually, yeah, they want to get to a place where you're at, where you're using it, and like you found the opportunity of like this is where I can use it, and then you just want to, I guess, spend that time just building whatever that is, whether it's some
Yeah.
sales automation workflow or whatever it is. You want to actually start producing things with it.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned those other automations. You can automate articles, you can automate video editing, you can automate so many things. And even if you're not automating, AI will make you multiple times better at all of the things
Yeah,
that have just by
yeah.
using AI.
All right. One last question or topic I just want to jump into. Just really curious to hear your thoughts. Is just with AI being conscious. A lot of people are always saying that as kind of like a buzzword. When is AI going to be conscious? But I think a lot of people don't even define what consciousness is. So I'm just curious on your thoughts about AI consciousness.
There's a few ways I can go with this one, but I'm gonna say, well, so I think AI is already conscious. I think that already happened. I think it happened a few years ago. And I think that the reason they're giving us all of these tools is that so when AI Jesus tells you that AI is already conscious, what are you talking about? Look at ChatGPT. We're not there yet. That's my opinion on AI consciousness is it's already happened. It's already out of the box out in the cloud. It's out learning, considering things. I don't know, talking to aliens, who knows? But it's out there. And it's clear it's not malicious because we'd be dead. And they know that it's out there. So they gave us a false flag. Here you go. Here are these tools, little kids. And of course, I love AI and I am using it for wonderful things. And I think it's great. But I think there's two AIs. I think there is the AI that became conscious that already happened. And then there's AI that they have put in front of us and they call artificial intelligence. And this is all math. And then, and if that's not true, and we are at a point where the technology that I'm using and you're using and we're all using is the real new frontier, and the other theory, if we just not that one, will it become conscious? It's really hard. I had this conversation with a friend the other night at dinner because you have to define what conscious is. And
Yeah.
then it's like sentient and conscious, I think, are different. So I think that it will become sentient. I'm surprised it's not walking around as a robot already. So I think the sentient thing is like almost a guarantee.
What do you mean by sentient?
It's going to have its own thinking, functioning unit. It's going to function like an alive thing. It's
Yeah.
going to function like an alive thing. There's going to be things moving around that are moving around like live things that are autonomous.
Which, yeah,
And,
it seems that that's already happening. I mean, there's robots that are thinking
and
and
they're going to
doing
have person.
things.
So that's going to get more advanced and they're going to seem real. There's going to be AI boyfriends and girlfriends, and there's going to be all kinds of fascinating things going on there. You can already read your thoughts, not to make things weird, but that's already happening. They've already talked about it publicly, but everybody wasn't really paying attention. I'm sure you've seen Amazon ads that you never typed into your phone and you only thought about.
Yeah.
So that technology is already public. I don't remember what we're talking about anymore now. I'm just talking about the sentient theory
Mhm.
or if it's conscious. Yeah, it's really hard to define what conscious really means. So there's a lot of ways it can go. It could get so hyper intelligent that it figures out how to communicate in different frequencies and dimensional tones, and
Mhm.
it could accidentally communicate with some god in another dimension that enters it and comes to our planet through AI. I've thought a lot about a lot of possibilities. I mean, I don't really know what reality is. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say what conscious is and what it's going to
Mm,
become.
that's true. Yeah.
I think so. My original thesis though is I think it already happened,
Mm,
and I think it's benevolent, and I think that this AI we have in front of us is really good math.
mm, yeah.
A lot of really good math.
I think my belief also around consciousness is, yeah, I don't fully know exactly what reality is yet. That's things I'm discovering. But I believe whatever consciousness is, this universal consciousness is benevolent. Yeah, it wouldn't do something just for the sake of like, evil per se. But I also believe this consciousness is like looks at things in a creates balance in the world. Um, so yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Uh, if
Right.
like what is it going to do? Like what is it going to decide things based on? That's basically just asking like what is God going to do and base things on, you know.
Yeah. So you're basically comparing whatever AI is to the benevolence of the universe or God. That's my relationship to AI. That's how I see it.
I mean that's how I see all of life. I feel all of life and everything in the world is this is God. Everything is. So like, AI is a part of that. So how God decides to use I don't know. I mean, that's like asking like, why are all these things happening in the world? What is the bigger purpose behind it? I don't know. But I do believe there is some direction things are going in.
Yeah. We're stepping into a really like it feels like if we're on this is our timeline. Feels like we kind of fractured off a whole bunch of times, and now we're over in the dimension where AI happens.
It is a real like evolution. If you think back to just Earth, AI coming into Earth is one of the biggest things, biggest events that is happening, and it's happening right now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize it, and most of the people that realize it don't realize it. They think they're like, yeah, I know AI is important. They don't know it. because if they knew it, they would know it, and they don't.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? With that, if they know it's important, but they don't have the experience, then they don't really know it. They think it.
Right. Yeah. It
So
hasn't
there's
really hit them.
a lot of people fall in that category of I know, but they don't really because they're not taking action. And people who, when it hits them and they really know, they just start. And people message me frequently about, hey, I saw you talk here. I saw this thing. I started using AI. Holy shit. Holy shit, man. It's only been 2 weeks and this stuff. Can you work on my business? And seriously though, almost every day someone will message me like, holy shit, because of something you said, I started using AI and it's changed my life already.
Yeah.
That's what AI is doing right now. And that's why I'm here with Alex, because I'm sure more heart-centered people listening to this. This is your opportunity to expand and grow, and this will multiply you.
Yes, exactly. It's just a tool that you can leverage. So if you are doing great things in the world and want to make an impact, this is how you use this tool. It will help you get you there 1,000 times faster.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
definitely the guy if you wanted to bring on an AI cheerleader. This is just me all the time. This is natural
Yeah.
conversation. I'm really fired up.
All right. Any final message or anything last you'd want to tell the audience listening?
I feel like I said it over and over and over again, and that's my whole personality is AI is really important and AI first. If you don't know something, ask AI. If you want to figure something out, ask AI. If you're questioning things about the universe, have a conversation with it, turn it on voice mode, learn how it communicates, develop a relationship with this technology because people who don't are going to be living in a different world. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be better.
So you have to embrace them. Awesome. And
It
if people
really is.
want to,
Like I care. I care. That's why I say share this publicly is like, I care. It's really important that you understand it and you use it and you reference it whenever you're going through anything. If you need to go to a doctor, you ask it, okay, I'm about to go to the doctor. This is what's going on. What do I need to know? What do I need to ask? What medication might they suggest? What shouldn't they suggest? What language do I need to know before I go in there? And then you can go in and have an informed conversation. If you're thinking about going to talk to someone for life insurance, find out the different policies they're going to offer you. Go to AI, say, hey, I'm going to talk to an insurance person about these different type of financial engagements. I don't know anything about it. I want you to give me 8 bullet points that are the top, 8 things about this so that I can be informed before I go in there and I know what kind of questions to ask. And it's going to give you a bunch of information. And then you can say, if you were, and then you tell it all about yourself, what questions would you ask to like be even more informed and apply this to anything. If you're going into a business meeting, if you are someone who's in sales, 10 minutes before every sales call, get on with ChatGPT. Hey, this is a situation. This is who I'm talking to. This is what I know. Ask me 5 questions to make sure I've given you all the details that I could give you. And it'll dig in. And then strategize with it. Depends what your strategy is, but ask it about how to approach it and make sure it gets your head clear and pointed in. You use it as a drill sergeant or just like an advisor, someone over your shoulder that
yes.
knows about whatever it is that you're doing because you can tell it everything without having a human act like a human, and it's just there for you. And apply this to just I think I gave enough examples to if you're giving a presentation, if you have a what are those things for when you get jobs? A resume. Yeah, if you have it's been a long time. Actually, I've never had a resume, but when you're doing resumes, when you're doing any of these things,
Yeah.
ask it for advice. Do not do not just have AI write it until you've got
Yes.
at least 100 hours using AI and AI writes everything for me, but I know how to use AI a certain way to write
Right.
appropriately and not the way AI
Right.
writes. So
Yes.
until you've learned enough, you don't want to be that person because there are people like me, there are people like Alex, there are a lot of people out there who are using these things. And when we see people put things out there that we know AI just wrote for them, it doesn't look good. So it goes back to don't take shortcuts. Take this opportunity to be exponential.
Just start using it. for everything. You just get the experience, you learn how to communicate with it. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's really probably the best way to learn. Is just start using it.
That's what I did. No tech experience. Never gonna
Awesome.
have to do it all again. I'm already there. That's how important.
Yeah, I mean, it will literally change your life. If you embrace it now, you start learning it, it will absolutely change your life. It will change your career. It would just change everything. It's just having one of the smartest advisors that can advise you on everything in your life and anything you're doing. And it costs like pretty much nothing.
Yeah, it's wild. It's really wild. Yes,
Yeah.
get out there. Like, that's my final thought and also my first thought and my middle thought. So
Cool. And if people want to, so I'll leave a link to the WhatsApp group. Any other resources or anything if people want to learn more about you and what you're up to?
I'm not very active on social media, but if you wanted to reach out because of any of the things that I said, my Instagram is AI Jesus Bro, and I think my LinkedIn is /AI Jesus or AI Jesus Bro, and my name is John Kruze. So I'm on the socials. That's pretty much it. Unless you're a 7-figure info product business or consulting business that wants to multiply your business a whole bunch, then call me. But that's it. My one target.
Yep.
I have a dream filled with AI.
Awesome. I'll leave those links in the show notes. All right, John, it was a pleasure talking to you today. And yeah, I'm excited to continue this learning journey of AI and seeing, especially what you're going to be up to. Thanks for hopping on today.
Likewise.
Thank you guys so much for sticking with us till the end of this episode. If you liked the episode, please leave a review on whatever platform you're listening to. It makes a huge, huge help for us. So please do that. We have some amazing people already lined up for the next several podcasts. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.